Here's your fun fact. The world-famous Hollywood sign was put in place in 1923 by a real estate developer. Originally meant to stay in place for only 18 months to advertise properties, it originally read Hollywood Land. The sign remained in place long after it was intended to, and in 1949 the word land was removed. Stay tuned to Inspirado Projecto for more fun facts.
99 a pound? Ours is only $2 a piece. Well, it's me, Meat Clown.
Bills. Meat is becoming so expensive. I guess my family's...
Uh-oh, what time is it? Meat time, of course. You'll love it. It'll put a smile on your face, and also you can bring some to the party. Bar mitzvahs, mazel tov, Halloween's, ooh, spooky. Easter dinners, Happy Easter, St. Patty's Day. You like the meat, you like the sirloin, you like the tenderloin, you like the pork chops, you like all that stuff that's out there. The meatloaf, the carne asada. We got Italian sausages, pork chops, we got meatloaf, just like your mother used to make. We're here for all of your discount meat needs. We got lean ground beef for $2.99 a pound. Beef flat meat carne ranchera, $4.99 a pound. What a steal. Loin porterhouse steak, family pack, for only $6.49. And beef shanks, center cut, for $2.19 a pound. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. What time is it? Meat time. Of course. Out of sight. Plenty of locations in Eagle Rock, Glendale, Hollywood, Covina, Whittier, Acton, and Indio.
Meat! 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 Hey everybody, I'm Meat Clown. I love meat so much I'm literally made of meat. We have warehouses filled with meat! Don't get your meat from them other places. They charge too much. Get your meat from old your buddy Meat Clown. Check this out. Them chicken tenders of all varieties, the competitors sell them for up to $4.99. We got them for $4.29 each. You want some freshly made home-style female chorizos? Competitors sell those for $2.49. We got ours for $1.99. What a deal! How about some fresh pork neck bones? Competitors got those for 79 cents. We got all them bones for 49 cents. And come this Saturday to the Jambalaya Cook-Off at Greenwich Village Park. Mention Meat Clown and get 25% out of already low prices. And pre-order the Meat Clown action figures. Coming soon.
Hotels from Royal Park Mortuary.
For the Whittier Beer Thought, sponsored by Meat Clown Meat Products. Fun games, tasty prizes, live music, live raffle, and a meat pie eating contest. Winner receives a free Meat Clown t-shirt and a year's supply of pork crackers. What do you say, Meat Wizards?
Dynamite.
We slaughtered too much cow, chicken, and sheep, and now we're passing a savings on to you. Choose from a vast array of delicious meat products at overstocked discount prices. We're giving it away.
Can't beat that.
You can't beat Wizards with up with the corn dog, up with the chip lid, stop being on Wednesday, rip off bacon. Come for the sizzle, stay for the higher than average savings. Tell them what they have going for to be Wizards.
Great discounted prices.
This weekend only, children under 16 and free with the purchase of a ticket to the meat locker. Tell them what the coffee
This weekend.
Meat Clown, here for your ultimate meat needs. Pork! We have succulent sausages, so big you can't even put your mouth around them. Bison! Anything you want, any kind of meat, we got it all. We got it all for you. And if I don't have it, you can always talk to my meat minions.
Take us away!
Any kind of meat. Succulent butt steak. We only sell meat. It's discount meats. That's what I sell. Chicken fillet. Hot dog. If you come down to discount meat with me, Meat Clown, $10 gets you one of these little minions. What's that?
Hey man, get me out of here! Save me, seriously!
Huh? What? Yeah, you could go home. You could go home with us. If you don't spend $10, they go home with me. You don't know what happens when they go home with me, do you? You don't want to know, so come on down. Buy some discount meat. Come, discount meat with me, Meat Clown, your friendly meat clown.
Your friendly meat clown, your friendly meat clown.
Para la mejor selección y los precios bajos en todas sus necesidades de la carne del descuento. Carne Clown de la Visita.
Lingua.
$1.79 a pound.
Carnitas.
$9 a pound.
Pollo asada.
$3.99 a pound.
Carne asada.
$6.59 a pound.
Cabeza.
69 cents a pound. El ir a un almacén de la carne sin un payaso de la carne es como lanzar su dinero en la basura. El payaso de la carne de la Visita y todos sus sueños sustanciosos vendrán, ¿verdad?
Fantástico.
Welcome, my friends, to the meat center of the universe. We've got for you a special deal, a beef round top for $2.99 a pound. Do you know what my competitors' prices are right now? Well, I'm going to tell you. That's right, they're charging, holy God, $3.49 a pound. Oh, be gone, bad pricing. That's right. Guess what? We also have an excellent deal coming up next week where you can get 5 pounds of beef stewing meat. That's right, my friends. We'll give it to you in a sack, waterproof. Come on down. It's going to be $5.49 a pound. That's right. But I think maybe I got the figures wrong. Let's see what the competitors are trying to offer. Oh,
that's working. That's working.
$6.59
We'll be
a
back,
pound.
folks. We'll be back.
Oh, get that out of here. Take it, flush it down the toilet. Burn it. We're not going to let them do that to you, friends. Conveniently located in Knoxville, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky, and Xena, Ohio. Order prohibited. In your house, in your stomach, I will personally feed you.
Do you love meat as much as I do? Come down to the Clown. We have fresh pork spare ribs, $2.29 a pound. They have it for $2.99 a pound. That's good meat. Beef chuck carne asada, $2.99 a pound. They want $3.49 a pound. We know our meat. Join us to have some meat. It's on sale. Come on down and see the Clown in Tacoma, Pasadena, Pomona, Petaluma, Placenta, Island Park, Echo Park, Costa Rica, and New Orleans.
Hey kids, it's me, Meat Clown, and I'm here to tell you about a special deal. Go! 100-piece fried chicken, $58.99. Ours are only $4.15 a bucket. It's wild in here. Hot wings of fire. Wow! $4.99 a pound. Ours is only $2 a piece. What? Me, Meat Clown. We celebrate meat. The prices are just so nice. Beef round. Rump roast. $2.79. What'd you say? Say $2.79.
Fresh ground turkey.
$3.29. What is that price again? I say $3.29. Available in New York, Cleveland, Ohio, Texas, Kansas, Big
nugget, chicken wings. Oh.
Meat Clown, meat products proudly stands by its current price. The quality is dynamic.
Everything be everything when you said grace. Oh.
Howdy, y'all. I'm a meat maven, and I'm here to tell you about all the great deals we have at the Meat Clown store. For the little ones, don't forget the meat nuggets. Give me the nugget. Boy. Youngins love them. 50 cents a nugget? Oh my, I can feed all my youngins with that. Everyday low prices. Just like summertime, nothing says summer like a barbecue. A good old pig picking. For your ribs, just give it a good rub. Yeah, boy. $6.79. That's crazy talk, Meat Clown. We have bags of crackling chips, just like Meemaw used to make them. $1.99 for a bag. That's a deal down at Meat Clown store. Fly on down to our Louisiana outlet. This nugget here has some good stuff.
Hey, where are you going? I'm just walking down to MC. What's MC? Meat Clown. Meat Clown? What is that?
Meat Clown is a wholesale provider of quality discount meat products.
And look, we have beef loin tri-tip roast for only $4.49. Meat Clown meat products, OMG, they're so delicious.
And make sure to try our new Meat Clown meat nuggets.
You could get cracked when you Meat Clown.
Come on down to Dave's Chillin' and Grillin' at 2152 Colorado Boulevard and get your free Meat Clown pin.
Come on down to Meat Man, kids. Meet your buddy Meat Clown. Meat Clown brand discount meat-based meat products. Good for you. Carne asada, $2.29 a pound. Se habla español. And we have a fine selection of kosher meats for your more discerning clientele.
Possibly varied from meat to meat.
You're listening to Inspirado Projecto on KCHUNG Radio.
Wowzers, you guys, we have an extraordinary time here today coming up. Listening to KCHUNG 1630 AM, or if you're listening to this on the interwebs, it's kchungradio.org. And if you look at that red up there, you click on it, and then it'll show streaming. It'll show a streaming link. So real fast, last night we had an event. We had a Bloody Bobby's event last night, which was so exciting. It was at Sunspace, this magical place. It's like Shangri-La. It's like the Shangri-La for all artists, and I think you two would have a blast there. It's in Sunland. It's an experimental theater. It's an experience where all kinds of people who are plugged into this kind of higher vibrating consciousness all gather without even realizing it until they have some conversations with each other. And it's just so phenomenal. And so through these events that I've been going to, I've been coming across some interesting people, and I always like to showcase these intriguing people to you guys so you get a chance to know who they are, and you get to be inspired by their work, and ideally go out and check them out at some point. So first we have here, can you please introduce, is it Crystal's Art Love? Crystal's Art Love. Can you speak close to there? Let's see. Just as close as
Check 1 2. Okay, yeah, it's Crystal's Art Love.
And how long have you guys been around?
We're going on 11 months.
11 months. When were you first inspired by crystals, or did you have a vision, or how did you come across that?
I used to walk downtown LA, and I would come across a farmer's market, and an old man would be selling these stones, and I didn't know much about crystals then, and I asked, what are these? And he told me they're magical stones, and I told him, are you kidding? And it's like, of course, And he started introducing more the geological aspect of rocks, meaning, like how they're formed. So I don't know. I was just curious at that time. But then I started buying some, and I started giving them away. I felt, it's cool to just give gifts, because I have a long time drawing, and I would give everything I had. Instead of, I felt like when I see it in my room, in the walls, I feel like I think someone else would appreciate it more than I would, because I just keep going after another one and another one, and I feel like some people to this day have a certain peace of mind that they treasure, and I think that's the most important part about this whole reality, that you leave behind a piece of something that created positivity or happiness, or a memory that brings joy to someone's life. So I'm into crystals because they're living they're living consciousness. They're not just still, and they have earth vibration, which is very important to us. We are deprived of this energy by the rubber in our shoes, and we don't spend a lot of time outside enjoying the sun. So that's another aspect. So the crystal will amplify in your chest, or your wrist, or your finger, and it will help you. It'll help your aura. It's helping me a lot. I have awesome dreams. I dream of crystals now, like you mentioned earlier.
Do you fall asleep wearing them?
Yeah, or on the side of the bed. And we don't have any rituals or anything. We're not. Well, I'm not into white magic or black magic. What texture is telling me, I go by heart. It's nothing. It's not a cold. It's not even new age spiritualism, to be honest. I've been considered someone that is into that. But I study a lot of things, and I stay a metalhead through and through. I'm a musician. And I just make jewelry for people, that's what it is. And I love jewelry too. And like we were mentioning in the roof, we probably live past lives. I told you, I think I'm a pharaoh of some sort. Not necessarily ruling people, but my energy source. Who I am inside makes me feel very comfortable in this hold of self-awareness and self strength that only comes within the heart. And I think pain does give you that door to open, but it takes a lot of will to overcome the pain too.
Do you feel that you use that knowledge that you've learned, all of the spiritual knowledge you've learned? Do you plug that into the crystals and into the instruments that you're creating?
You know what? I do put intention. I create with the intention of spacing out or tuning out of this realm. Like I don't think of anything while I'm weaving. I don't think of anything. I'm just the atom that has no judgment. If I don't know. I've been doing this a long time. Meaning, I take walks. I close my eyes and I visualize the street. Visualize if I could see the person or the car, if it's in the right spot when I open my eyes. And I got really good at it. So I think any skill, even the weirdest thing, could become a skill, and it will advance other things inside of your body.
The more you tune it in, the more that perception becomes this. It's like a radar. You get that spidey sense tingling. You can get the feelers out there farther and farther each time, I think.
Yeah, but I want to let Gem.
Talk please now. Tell me about yourself and your journey with creating this. I noticed you showed me a tool where you twist the copper.
Yeah, well, my skill kind of came from me believing that I could do something great, and I didn't really try so hard in this physical realm. I was just staying joyful within myself, regardless of external circumstances, and I will act upon it, and do things that will will make me feel better, like meditating or writing, or what I was good at, and writing was always that. And then through that, I guess I was guided to this skill, this art that came from just being inspired to meet someone who I could resonate with, and someone who wanted to better themselves and become more in tune with what truth is, what we are. And that's what I only had that connection with the crystals, like they introduced me to that, to something beyond this world. And then it manifested through a physical being, this person, and now I'm with all of you here, and so it's growing, and my skill is growing too, and it feels really great.
It's really awesome. Now, how long does it take for you to generally make, for instance, one of these, something like that around your neck? I mean, how long does something like that?
About now, like 20-30 minutes, and for one with more detailed, like really nice work, would take about an hour.
Whoa.
But it's like this one would take about an hour or two.
That one looks amazing. It looks like a harp.
Yeah, it looks like a harp.
Note, a sigil, all that
and
once.
it's a Moldavite stone, a meteorite.
Meteorite?
Yeah.
You're just talking about meteor.
We have Moldavites in our necks.
Yeah.
Meat Clown is
really awesome.
meteor. Yeah, we're joking about that. So also, I want to pass the mic over here to formerly Alien.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all just going to keep looping back around in one another.
Yeah,
this
sweet.
is a big hall of mirrors here, big room of mirrors. So just please make sure you speak into it. Actually, you can actually talk to this when I'm not talking. We can share this too. So we have formerly Alien here. Now I met these amazing intergalactic extraterrestrials when I was at Sunspace as well, another magical place that that was the same magical place where we had the screening last night.
We mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, and so I mean, just that fact of like just being there, and it's just I don't know, it just feels so good. So how did you two end up coming together? How did you form this project?
It's fun to watch you guys talk actually about manifesting like art and love, like, and seeing it mirror back and through another person. A lot of the reason that we came together was through connecting through music, which appeared to be this other kind of space that we were able to share that was not physical, and we leaned into it, and then the world started changing around us. And the idea for this band came to examine the world, this physical world we live in, from a great distance, from a spaceship setting off in search of a new home, and looking back at the world that we've left behind. And so, well, I don't know, I lost my train of thought there.
Well, that's how it began, I guess, and then we realized the potential was really limitless for the experience that we could create when we, through a music show. We didn't want it to be just a rock show. We wanted to bring people into the world that we had found and that we were sharing together. So we started to throw shows here in LA that were in people's homes and in pop-up spaces, and we'd create a little bit of a ship environment for them to step into, and they would come in costume, and we'd all kind of share something for an hour or so, which we were blown away by the power of that. And so we're just really starting off on this journey together, but it's still all about the music. It's all about the songs and the sound that we can create first just as a duo. And so we're really happy to be here today to share it with you.
Thank you so much. This is going to be the first time we've ever actually had a real life live band in the studio, and because I knew you guys were going to be on the show, I was really hoping that you guys were going to be on the show, and I was like, okay, this is great that we're going to be able to connect these cosmic minds together, introduce them to one another, and just see what kind of synchronicities and magic just rise out, and the listener right now actually being able to experience it in real time, which is really exciting. In fact, we can actually archive the magic and actually have it right there as this documentation. I just love that idea. So I just want to say something real quick to we have one of our representatives from Meat Clown Industries here. Did you want to say a couple of words concerning Meat Clown Industries?
Yeah. No, this is my chance.
This is my chance.
Folks, I just want to remind you, if you're tuning in now, make sure to purchase some high-quality Meat Clown product solutions. They're going to be very cheap. You're not going to spend a lot of money, but these are going to be high-quality products. Choose now, www.meatclownbuttons.bigcartel.com. That's it. Thank you very much. Yeah.
They were one of our sponsors last night at the show. Now, what kinds of because I can imagine formerly Alien. I mean, you know, a crazy Broadway kind of musical experience where it's just you're barraged by all kinds of crazy stuff, projection screens, things swooping at you. Are these some of the ideas you guys are possibly thinking about too, with the direction?
Yeah, you know, we don't really want to stage a musical, but we think there's possibility in like the theater of rock and roll that allows people to imagine something bigger than what they are now, you know, and the same way that we imagine ourselves as bigger on the stage, you know, it allows us to like to be larger than our bodies and bigger than our limitations, right? So yeah, fireworks, you know, confetti cannons, like big set pieces, dancers, horns, anything along that level that allows us to imagine that like the way that we communicate through music can be multi-dimensional. You know, it's not just I'm playing this song, which is beautiful. I mean, obviously the music is central to this project. All the emotions are very honest and it's real story. But if you take that and then you expand upon it and you create an imaginary universe that all this takes place in, you can accomplish a lot more. You can reach deeper by igniting people's imaginations. You can open them up to like bigger possibilities for their own lives and to seeing this world as something maybe bigger than it appears on the surface.
You create the universe.
Yeah, you create it all together. Actually, I've seen that since we started this, and I never really specifically followed concept albums or like theater rock in any way. But I've seen like Coheed and Cambria and 21 Pilots. They're all like based in these imaginary worlds, and what I've learned is that not only do the creators of the music write these worlds, but the listeners give them so much of the information that it's built from, because they hear it, their hearts are set on fire, and like whatever energy that pushes out like informs the story, and like it becomes this kind of feedback loop, you know.
I'm getting visions of like a polyphonic spree kind of situation where it's like showing the community of, because like Star Trek, there was this Enterprise and it was a huge ship, and yet we only saw the life of these little people in that one little space. Well, where are all these other people, and what are their lives like? Why don't we ever show? That would be an interesting movie, TV show concept, is showing the lives of the communities living on these ships as they're floating out there in space. Yeah. So I can imagine this kind of thing, polyphonic spree, like there you are, and it's like, and now here are the citizens who live on this ship,
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be this crazy situation where you just like horns and like you're saying, it's just this sound and like.
Yeah, and we, the way that we frame the show is that everyone who's there is a passenger on the ship with us, and everyone has a job on the ship, or a purpose, to help this mini little society run. And so as people come in costume and people take names, like they'll take a job title or something, just to like, just like be there with us. Yeah. But then even like for people who aren't necessarily performers or artists, like even it's like Halloween or whatever. You get a slice of time where you can pretend to be somebody else and like see what that feels like,
So kick-ass. I want to ask Ryan here. So you played last night, and you basically organized. You got all of the artists there. You got all the musicians there, and that's from how years of doing this stuff.
Yes, I think it's been about a decade, just about, of organizing events throughout different locations and various types, and just kind of letting people be, and just willing to be able to not only experiment myself, but also letting other people experiment. Also, we did a festival. Actually, I think it was the first Eclectic Regress Fest that I did, where one of the visual artists plays the harmonica, came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I did this song on the harmonica. can I play it? Can I perform it? And I said, after these guys right here, you get up there and you go ahead and do it, and you know, just stuff like that. That's not planned at all.
Right.
But it adds
Shuffle
something
it in
to
there.
people.
You
And
need to
people
see.
and people were digging it. So I like being able to be that sort of having that, or just imbibing that sort of spontaneity in people, in performance, in creativity, overall.
Yeah. There's a lot of that kind of stuff going on last night with
Gosh,
things happening.
Especially last night. Wow, that was
just so crazy.
That came out so much better than I expected, and in a way, I didn't know what to expect. I knew we had artists, we had musicians, we had the movie, we had Me Clown as a guest star there, and like half of the crowd was dressed as clowns, and then we, like, you know, most of the other half by the end of the night were painted up as clowns.
Yeah.
And everybody, you know, knew who Me Clown was, and it's like they came for him.
Yeah.
And it was a great. It was. I knew it was going to be surreal, but I didn't think it was going to be quite like that. So it ended up so much better than I thought.
Yeah, they kept contributing more and more to the cinematic universe that was being built before them.
Yes, that's right.
Well, can we hear a song by you guys? I would love to hear a song by you guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Formerly Alien is going to sing a song for us here. First time we've ever had a live. You know what? Can you please turn off that fan for me, please? Do you guys have enough space here? You want me to scoot out a little? Or you
I
want
think
to sit
it's
on the
gonna
chairs
work.
so you're elevated a little more or something?
This is what we're singing into here?
Yeah,
that
this
one.
one.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. You want this closer to the guitar?
That's perfect. And then just crank up the gain.
You know what? I'm gonna use this chair. Great.
You good?
Yeah.
Making noise?
Yeah.
For the first time ever, Inspirado Projecto live performance.
Live performance.
Cool. Formerly Alien.
Civilization Transport Systems, delivering us to a better tomorrow.
No surprise, out searching for a kinder tide. Just tell me where the good ones hide. They all in love with noble guides. Alleyways, check out the Willie Nelson braids. And there's the Ouroboros snake. He's gone to waste, choking on his tail. Oh no, here I go, turn around and head through the door. No, can't be sure, I think I've seen her face before. And then out of the blue, she looks at me like I am someone new. I think for once this could be different to me. The weather from the fog machine. She wound up sitting next to me. Her eyes were like a magazine. That's what she's on. We talked about our favorite song. When Lauren held you up, came on. I tried to dance, but all my moves went wrong. Oh, now I feel her go. What's that sound? Who's headed through the door? No, can't be sure. I think I've seen his face before. And then out of the blue, she looks around the room for someone new. I thought for once this would be different. But she moves right up and headed through the door. Can't see no more. I've seen that face 100 times before. Into the blue, I looked inside and there was nothing new. I thought by now this would be different. be sure. Guess I've made mistakes before, and then out of the blue I see the world like I am someone new, and think for once maybe it's different.
That is so good. Wow, you guys, that's so good. I want to ask you guys, the extraordinary jewelry makers you are. Have you ever had any extraterrestrial experiences or abductions or anything like that?
Well, I could begin by saying I never seen that before. Okay. And seeing it live, it's very interesting how you guys use everything you have, and it made me feel something. And when music makes you feel something, I think it's you're godly right now, you know. You're godly. Like I'm a god. My wife's a god, and we always have this little fun time running into other gods. You know that. You know, I do believe that everyone's a god, but it takes oneself to understand that they are, for them to truly become it. And your sound is beautiful. Like I want a copy of your CD. You know, like, or you know, I want to see you live. You know, multiple times. You know, the name is very, 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 very appropriate for you guys, because you guys are now experiencing the human experience. But thank you. We're very pleased, and I'm gonna let her speak. You know, so what do you?
It truly triggered something in my heart space, and I feel like that's what it takes to be in tune with that ET signal that we have, that comes from our pineal gland, and we all have it. If you put awareness to it, you could reach these levels of expression and connection.
Thank you. I mean, this room feels real charged up right now. I'll tell you what, it was fun. It was fun to play. You know, it's always different playing music, because it's not just the song, it's not just your body, it's really like what you're channeling in that moment. And it's cool to think about like where the music came from. You were talking about this earlier in the lobby. Like, this music is not something that I consciously like sat down and wrote. It's just like it just came through, you know, like from wherever. Yeah. But like at the time when it came through, I happened to be very focused, very centered, and feeling like actually a lot of love and acceptance for the world and for myself. And so just by opening up a little bit wider, this big waterfall of music came out, and it was just all that I could do to like hang on to it, you know. It's like, could I get this through the guitar, you know, hit record. And now to be able to recreate it and still like feel that sense of openness, like the music comes and then people feel it, and like it makes it better. Like it starts ringing. Like even, I don't know, did you have that experience, Amy?
Yeah, it felt great.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a real honor to get to play with you guys here. So thank you.
Thank you for being here to play it.
There is a buzzing in this room, and I think some of the people in the at-home audience can probably sense that too. Is everybody got a round robin and got to say their piece. Everybody got to contribute a little something, and then music came and gone, and there is an absolute change in the frequency.
Yeah. The button's been
Thank you guys.
Yes. Can you please turn on back on that phone for me, please?
Yeah, maybe we're just sweating. Maybe that's.
All right. So what do we got next, Kurt?
So to get back to you guys about your alien abductions, have you had any, or how many have you had?
Which one's your favorite?
Which one's the favorite alien abduction you've had?
All right, so you're asking me like a story?
Yeah, stories, anecdotes,
Okay,
poems, parables.
I guess you could call it an alien, for I didn't know what it was, but 3 times in my life, once when I was 7, the other one when I was 15, and the other one when I was 24. a white orb appeared, and in each occasion I had people around me, so I know it wasn't in my head. So I have a white orb that follows me. I see it mostly in my dreams, but when it appears here on Earth, it's in a time of very critical danger. Like I'm like in a very negative state of mind and heart when that appeared, and I do believe it's my guardian or something that is keeping me positive. Aside from what I see in this world, this world is not. It's a very interesting world. I was never taught the rules. I to this day I don't know what the rules are to this world. But I do follow tablature and old scripture. I follow it in a sense where I read it and I try to focus and pay attention to what they're saying between the lines. And ghosts and aliens, they're far too real. Psychedelic drugs open the door to what's really here, and frequency, sound, air, all these elements that create our bodies and everything around us. That's the ghost. That's the ET. These entities don't even have like a body figure. It's more like static white noise. But coming back to the white orb, I feel like I'm very I do believe in aliens, and to have those experiences and have the people's faces be blue with terror, it has to be me, because I'm not scared. I'm looking at it like, what is this? Well, why is it here? And then I'll tell you a story. Me and my younger brother, we were 14, and we went to go to GameStop to buy a video game. And we're walking down the street coming back, very happy, I might add. We were very happy that we got this game, and we're thinking, oh, how are we going to play? How are we going to strategize against these other people? Because we're play online. So we see a pit bull in the far distance, like probably like a long block away. And we see it charging. And, we didn't think much. And my brother says, oh, let's cross. All right, well, we cross the street. And next thing you know, we keep talking. And this is like in a matter of a minute. So we keep talking, and we see over, and the dog's crouched down, like if it's about to, like, pawn to something or, like, attack something. And we see it, and we're like, oh, we don't think much of it. And then he just runs across the street, and a truck runs it over. I see the lady's eyes. She's startled, and then she looks at me and she goes, I don't know, and we look at the dog. We look at the dog, and he's scrambling and he falls, and we run to it, and we see its last breath. We're just looking at it, and we see it die, and we go home. We tell our parents, we tell our friends, hey, we saw a dog. Then later on at night, my brother tells me, hey, I think that dog was gonna attack us. And I said, why? Think about it. It was sprinting towards us. There was nobody around, and it was under a bridge too. So for the dog to sprint into the street, that truck had to be there at the right time for that to happen, because I know that dog. That dog was always chained up, and it was owned by gang members, and it got out. So you could only imagine these people train their dogs to attack. So that's a paranormal activity that I could say. I'm still to this day shocked that. Oh, and then recently I'm talking about this with her, and we see a pit bull's face in a car, in a truck. Someone had a pit bull, and I'm talking about the pit bull. Come on, like, this is not a coincidence. Even right now I'm getting chills, because what if that truck wasn't there? To be honest with you, I would risk my life to save my brother. I would step up, but something else stood up and got that truck to get the dog for me. It's weird. Like, I could tell you so many incidents, that these close encounters with just having the right attitude towards life and making the quick choices when you make them now. You don't wait on it. You don't procrastinate. You don't overthink the situations. You follow your heart, and the heart always has you at the right time. Like, the heart is there for you, beating, always constantly giving you this air, giving you everything, really. And this dog, it's amazing what life could teach you. And after that day, I kept thinking about it, and then the white orb appeared again, and it was very interesting.
After the dog, the white orb appeared?
Yeah, like 3 years later. Like 3 years later.
You said it's just a hazy thing?
No, it's vivid.
It's a form?
It's as bright as that light.
Can you think of commonalities where, like, it either happened usually only in the daytime or in the nighttime, or a certain?
They were all in the daytime.
Were you in the same spot?
No.
Each of these times?
I was in the hallway the last time it occurred. Oh, I'll share the story. So real quick, I was with a girl that was very negative. She was very possessive, and I don't know why I was into that, but I was lost myself. So anyways, this one day I was just yelling out to the sky. I don't want to hurt this person. I don't want to break this person, but this person is getting under my skin, and I don't know how to deal with it. And I was literally to the sky, and next thing you know, she holds my hand and tells me sorry or whatever, and we're walking, and I'm telling you, the orb came, got our hands, brought them up, and I didn't feel my hand letting go. But at the moment that the hands were above, they were separate. And to me, that was like, what? Like, how did that happen? And she, of course, was like pale white and kept asking me, what was that? What was that? And me, I knew what it was. It's the white orb. But yeah, I think if you generate enough power within you and you ask from the bottom, like this emotion that nothing could harm you, that nothing could break you. I don't know, the spirits or the ether comes and shows you, does things that drastically changes your perspective of life. I don't see this as a room here just with lights, tables, bottles, guitar. Like, I see vibration right now. Like, it's all moving. It's all fluctuating within, out, and in. There's nothing that's separate.
Isn't it astounding, like, thinking of that possibility that we have known each other in all these different past lives? As Nostradamus says, they're all the lives are, it's now. It's all happening right now, just in these different. And just thinking about, like, holy cow, how crazy would that be if we had a past life regressionist in here to, like, have us each go down and go, how did we, were we like a band of pirates on, out there in the world? Are we traveling minstrels, across the medieval times? Or we,
yes,
what would be that? Yeah.
Or what about, like, she mentions that we're experiencing all those experiences right now. It's just like, yeah, like, explain. You could explain.
I'd say, okay, so this came from researching the Merkaba, and this is
researching what?
The Merkaba. Have you heard of that?
No, what is that?
It's a platonic solid or 3D form that has all the platonic solids on them, and when they connect, they create a like a grid sort. You just have to see the photo, but you can see that the grid forms a perspective, like, shape. When you're drawing and you draw those two lines, it forms that when they all connect. So it shows that all possibilities are present in the middle way.
That's cool. This thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
What is when you connect all it's called a certain thing, and I want to show you guys that exact photo, but it's a shape that we all contain, that even the earth contains, and this is our vehicle for our spirit to express, because our spirit is not inside of us. We're just the body right here, but something is like channeling messages through us for us to express, and it's through that vehicle called the Merkaba.
Now, do you do you guys? I get the idea that you two like appreciate synchronicities and those kinds of amazing, magical instances. What's the closest kind of synchronicity that you've had most recent that you've encountered, either of you two, or together, or it just made you go, "Oh my God!" This epiphany just strikes you. Anything like his orb story, for instance, or yes?
I mean, for us, it's been a sort of acknowledgement of how long we've known each other, and there's this. So I met Amy 10 years ago, and through music also. She was coming through town. This is I haven't really prepared to tell the story, but we've been seeing like energy centers like in places around this country, right? And we keep looping it back around these like very specific places. There's this like spot in Echo Park, and there's this place in New York, and there's and so we keep finding ourselves like at these locations together. And when we were sort of examining like how we came from far apart to like finding each other, we realized that at I was going to tell your wedding story.
Sure.
Yeah. So Amy was married 7 years ago, and at her wedding, a friend of ours played a song that I had written. I wasn't at her wedding, but she had asked her friend to play this song that I had composed. So I was like there with her while she was betrothed, like singing, like with my heart. There's like the truest song I had written to that point. And so later we realized like over similar things like that we had been with each other this whole time. But sometimes it takes a while, for you to like lean into the path that like is like there for you, So, I mean, but the thing is, like, once you start seeing synchronicities, you see them. Everything is. Yeah. Like you just have to allow yourself to believe that like everything's happening because you're manifesting it.
Yeah.
So
it's great when you make those connections and you connect those dots and you go, I see this crazy thing that's happening before my very eyes, and then you link it up and you go, that's because of this very specific thing I was thinking about with total abandonment and total excitement, 2 days ago, or I was just mentioning it earlier today, and here comes this thing out of this like completely surprise circumstance.
I used to think it was weird or like notable, and then it was just like, oh, this is just how it works. Like if you're listening, like that's just what it is, and it's cool. I mean, it's still exciting because it's like fun to see patterns as like pattern recognizers, Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to add to that, talking about synchronicities. We met before too. So the farmer's market I mentioned earlier of getting crystals, she had visited too. Not together, but we didn't know each other at the time. And then I bought
that same guy had offered to teach me how to rap because I was really into it, and I would always ask questions to the artists, how they got into it. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And it turned out the same person that he would speak to, but I never went back to that person.
So a purple amethyst is what I bought at a table at the art walk, and she's wearing it now.
Oh my God! Oh, wow. I love that.
But yeah, the story is very interesting. So we were at the table, and she didn't have enough money to purchase it, so I ended up getting it, and she complimented, and I said thank you, and I walked away. I didn't really look at her or anything, but I always, like I said earlier, I always give stuff away. So I felt like giving the crystal away, but I just bought it, and it cost me $35. So at the time I was like, nah, I'll keep it, But I felt guilty. I felt guilty. It was weird. But 2 years later, I'm in college, and I draw, on campus, and people compliment it, and I give them the art, So it's funny. She walks by, compliments the hummingbird, and then she walks away, and I'm thinking, I'm not done with the drawing. So I finished the drawing, and I ended up giving it to someone else. And then I meet her, I see her 2 days later, and I wave hi to her, and she's wearing a crystal. I forget the crystal.
It's a kyanite.
Okay, kyanite. Oh, cool. And I'm wearing one too. And we start talking, and
you were wearing the amethyst.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. So I used to buy a lot of crystals, and I used to lose every single one of them except that one. But coming back to the story, she recalls the story 2 weeks after we meet in college, and I say, "Oh, damn, it's me." You know, we were there. So we were together before we saw the purple amethyst, and I felt guilty for not giving it to her. So now I meet her again, and now I give her the crystal and myself, my skill, who I am. You know, she gets to experience me 24/7, and I think I don't know, she's always inspired by me, and I'm always inspired by her. And I think that's how any relationship with anyone it has to be. You know, you have to inspire each other to be better, to focus more, to love more, to just to create more, because we're creators at the end of the day. And synchronicity, I think that's what it was. You know, it brought us back together, a crystal, and now we wrap crystals way better than what I purchased it for, and I would give it to you for less price. So that's very that right there is I think it's love for the art. I make my money elsewhere. You know, I'll wash cars if I have to. I used to do the grimiest of works to feed my family and myself. So I'm not afraid to get down and dirty. But guess what? Now I know that money is energy. So now I use my brain. I don't use my hands no more. You know, I used to believe that my hands would get me everything. Nah, it's your brain, because everything's inside. You know, and then you use your heart, and it becomes paradise right here and then. You know, look, we have so much. We're so blessed that we could be here at a radio station, with no worries. You know, no stresses. Like, we're here having the time of our lives, and when we leave, we're still having the time of our lives. Not because what we have, what we own, but the attitude we give towards life. That's the most important part.
And that's what brings you the synchronicities.
Yeah.
It truly does, because you're focused on what your heart desires, and you believe that you're worthy of it, so it gives it to you. God is always there, like within you, experiencing you, and you get to communicate with yourself.
I want to ask Brian, what's the most recent synchronicity you've encountered?
Good question. Before that, I want to go back to the thing I mentioned earlier about the harmonica player. I want to mention that he is primarily into like grindcore music. So I just want to point that out, that you know, things aren't always as they seem. You know, someone who's like really into like this heavy and just thrashing grindcore sound, and you know, he does some amazing, you know, kind of psychedelic, kind of horror artwork, and you know, apparently plays the harmonica. Yeah. You know, and so you know, I just want to show that to people, that all these things can envelop within a person. But the most recent synchronicity is, I think, last night at Sunspace, where Patrick Pax, who is the director of the Warlords of Wall TV series that you can find on YouTube, he did the backing video. He composed the backing video with the artwork of a part-time collaborator of mine and Weekend, Adrian De Quiros. So Adrian did all the artwork for the video. Patrick put it together. He knew Smaldra Orchestra, who also performed last night from other events that they've seen each other at throughout the years. And he's also known one of the members of Meat Clown, working at some some digital company of some sort, like a decade ago, before we, you know, me and Meat Clown Man, and definitely before Patrick and I met. And it's wild seeing people that have kind of passed by each other and crossed paths throughout these years, and then coming together specifically in a location like Sunspace, and specifically on this night, and this group of people, and you know, brought together. And it's like, how often does that happen? Mm-hmm. You know, with something that's not, you know, they were working at some you know, computer digital, some sort of company, something completely devoid of this arts culture that we're doing and that we're building, and yet here they are, same place, same location, same time, you know, and into like the same, you know, strangeness.
Oh yeah, the crossbreeding of the different things was really crazy and exciting, because this guy Patrick he's talking about, because there's a film festival that I helped co-organize. It's called the Kapow Intergalactic Film Festival. So if you have any music videos whatsoever, I need to see those screened up on the big screen. And this Patrick guy actually entered one of his movies into the film festival.
Last year, 2017.
Last year, 2017. I had no idea he was a DJ. God, it was just like a Scooby-Doo sandwich of just synchronicity and cosmic stuff. So speaking of which, can you guys sing another song for us, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
Either way, or rest of my life.
You're on the mothership.
You're on the mothership. Hey. Mothership.
Hey, can we record it? Is it okay if I could record?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is formerly Alien.
This song takes place after the alien-human civil war leaves our planet uninhabitable. The morning after.
War is over. Everyone just take a breath. There's nothing left to fight. There's nothing left. I seen the future, and it's much brighter than the past. Honest and polite, no questions asked. Oh my God, could it be? Am I living in a fantasy? Grab my coat, grab my hat. Future's so bright and I'm never looking back. Tonight, tonight, tonight I'm going out to dance with everyone I love, or anyone who's left. Tonight, tonight, tonight I'm going out to dance with everyone I love, or anyone who's left. War is over. Everyone is so depressed. There's nothing left to write. It's like they get inside your head. Oh, do you remember a time when it was just yours and mine? Back when a simple smile could break your heart open wide. Oh my love, can't you see? We're all living in a fantasy. Grab your gun, grab your hat. Future's so bright and I'm never looking back. Tonight, tonight, tonight I'm going out to dance with everyone I love, or anyone who's left. Tonight, tonight, tonight I'm going out to dance with everyone I love. I'm looking for my friends, where have they gone to? There's not a soul to hold on to. Well, the future's so bright, I gotta put on special shades. Tonight, tonight, tonight I'm going out to Tonight, tonight, tonight I'm going out to everyone I love, and
was so tempted to say, I have them on.
You got him on.
But I knew you guys would keep going. So.
Wow. It's so cool. So all these songs are just kind of poured through you. They just kind of you hit your antenna, and then before you know it, it's just kind of flowing through you.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling, right? But I mean, it's the same thing as saying something that comes from your heart, and you're not thinking about it, and it just like pours out. Or like when you're working, you know, it's not like you're thinking about turning the metal. It's like it's just doing it, you know?
Oh yeah.
And so it was cool. Like I have a song that I'd been working on for a bit, and then I revisited it during this period when lots was coming through, and I just sat down and started playing it, and the rest of the song just came out like in one breath, you know? And it was like something that I'd agonized over for like a long time, and then just like relaxing the mind and really like listening to everything that's coming, and it was just like bleh, like here it is.
It's interesting. I noticed that like you kind of it becomes less of a forceful thing when you're not thinking of the end, or you know, sometimes when you're not trying to think of all the pressure of like what it possibly could be, and just focus on okay, let's reel it in, let's go right from the heart, let's just tap right into there and watch the geyser kind of. Let's go for the ride on here. I'm imagining like a whale, right? You just go, just shooting that out here right on top of this thing.
Pretty much. I think there's a lot of life experiences like that where you just feel a rush of energy, and I think we get scared of it, you know, because it's a lot. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of power, and so, you know, it's like holding a fire hose, like you said. Like you can, but if you're not prepared for it, it can feel dangerous.
Yeah.
It's scary, you know.
That's why you have to create right then and there that moment.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's all at. That's where all the energy is, and that's where it's coming out from. And like you said, it's just a rush of information all at once. And so that's what you create. The best thing to do is to create right then and there.
This just popped in my head too, like a simultaneous experience I had, realizing a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now is like the emotional content for a lot of this music comes from a long time ago in my life, like trauma from adolescence, and like previously sort of like what do you call it, repressed, like painful memories, you know. And if you open this fire hose, you know, you can feel those feelings from the past, you know, like rush through you too. Yeah, and so in the process of creating this stuff, it came with, I think the reason that it felt so important is that it came with like decades old emotions that hadn't been like loved yet, you know, like pain that hadn't been incorporated yet. And so as that came through, I was just like crying these feelings from like 20 years ago and just being like, oh, this like if you're open to it, you know, like all of that stuff comes through, and it sort of let me see that the nature of time as this kind of like flat like thing, you know, where like it's right there too, but like through music I was able to like reach back and like have that stuff like pour through time.
Wow,
it was weird.
Incredible. That's incredible.
Is that the same way you feel about quality meat products there, Meat Clown?
Absolutely. The power that one might get from a high quality button product is the same power that I believe we're all talking about tonight. The power that was there, you know, since the beginning of time. Something that we all need to tap into, folks. Speaking of tapping in, tap into www.meatclownbuttonstuff.bigcartel.com. Order today.
We're so fortunate to have sponsors on this program. It's a rarity.
This is a live sponsorship too.
This is a live sponsorship, like they did back in the olden days. Yeah, in the olden days, like where the talk show host would be like, you know, Crisco, it's what you need for baking. You know. Now back to the show, and there was like no break in it. It was just like they were right on there doing it.
Show.
Yeah. They just incorporate it. Oh, by the way, Joe, where did you take your tires? Well, I always take mine to Firestone, Tim. So, would you guys like to play another song?
Sure.
Do you have another one up your sleeve or up your tentacle?
Sure. Your tentacle. Up your tentacle. Up your tentacle.
Sure. You're tentacle.
We do have to think of some salutations and insults for the future.
Oh,
too, because they
absolutely.
change over time. You know.
It's like sit on it. It's like the new sit on it.
Yeah.
Sit on it. Sit on it. It's not your tentacle.
Walk off his short.
About the Empire State, but the time was never right. And though I wrote and told her not to wait, it always hopes she might. Everyone I know has moved away. It's hard to recognize, but I go and visit hoping that I find the rest of my life. 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 Henry had the honest face of a boy who learned to lie. And he kept a ukulele case filled up with kitchen knives. And he taught me that the things we want, well, they're all just in our minds. When I woke up on the day he gone, lucky still to find the rest of my life. The rest of my life. Rest of my life. The rest of my life. Angel in the chorus, crying in the kitchen. She was singing for us, but I wasn't listening. 20 years and 4 months into her admission, I may never know what she was really wishing. Walking through the forest, found what we was missing. 20 years and 4 months into her admission. Angel in the chorus, crying out your wishes. Now I'm singing for us. Mama, are you listening? I'm standing in an endless space. Time is passing by. I'm surrounded by familiar faces, wondering what mine looks like. I could swim around the Highland Bay. I could cut across the easy way. I could hack up to some hollow place and try to lose my mind. I could never ever leave this place. I could never ever leave. I could never leave it. Just be asking why. For the rest of my life. Ooh, the rest of my life.
Wow. Holy moly. Wow. What beautiful music. just to say, you guys have created great dynamics in your music.
Thanks.
I appreciate the comings and goings and the thought provokings.
Yeah. Thanks. It's real fun to play with you guys.
The melodies and the harmonies, and oh my God, it's just so fun to listen to. I can only imagine what that's like on a 5.1 surround. Like you got it in your head. You're just like, whoa, you're back there, and you're over there. What's going on?
Yeah. Well,
what's the name of that instrument, real fast, that you have?
Yeah, sure. It's called a harmonium. And for those listening at home, it basically looks like an expanded accordion. It's like a box that you pump from the side and pushes air through. And then I get to play a little tiny piano-looking keyboard on top. So it's very portable, which is why we...
Cool. I've seen Allen Ginsberg play one of those in a couple of videos back in the day.
Yeah, it belonged to my aunt, and it too has a little quick synchronicity story where she lost track of it, and I wanted one over the winter, and I offhandedly mentioned to my younger brother in Silver Lake that I was going to buy one on the internet, and he said, I have one in the living room, go check it out. And so he told me I could take it home, and I brought it home, and then my aunt was going to play cello on a tune with us at a little pop-up show, and she walks in and goes, that's my harmonium. I lost track of it. I thought I gave it away. Yeah, it was beautiful. I wept. It was such a cool moment.
My God, that's incredible. Yeah. This is so good. What were you going to say? I cut you off earlier.
Oh, you were talking about 5.1. I just wanted to say that we're working on a record right now.
Oh, good.
So that although this is like it's such a joy to perform the music. I mean, it's one thing to do it, to perform with people, to like share it. And then so we've been trying to put it on a record. The feeling of listening to it is like one thing, and sometimes it's hard to capture. But
maybe you can perhaps try out recording in a small environment with a small dedicated crowd to kind of give it that familiar warmth and intimacy.
Yeah, you're on the list.
Yeah, we're recording like a big record with like drums and horns and like the whole shebang.
Like you were just talking about this like a few minutes ago, and then now you got it on a record.
It's already happening. It's all happening.
It's already happening.
Yeah, guys, remember time is.
But yeah, we might, that like Tom Waits' early records, that the midnight, what's it called? Midnight Vultures. What's it called? The one where he records live. Night Hawks of the Night. Thank you. Yeah, where he's recording live to a small group of his friends. But like. Absolutely. Like, I think we'll finish this big record, but we also have plans to make this sort of smaller version of it to see what that feeling is. It's a different kind of feeling.
That's cool. You guys, so it's 2:10. We should probably start skedaddling out here. Are there some last things you guys would like to talk about? Let's say ways for people to find you.
Okay, so we have a website. We're crystalsartlove.com. And we also have an Instagram. We're highly available. We do have time to craft, but it's our priority to help people, have these, as quick as possible. I feel time is an illusion, so I create my time. So I have time for everything and nothing at the same time, I think. And also, I just want to say that we're going to be giving everyone here in the room a necklace. We brought
awesome.
some.
That is awesome. Thank you.
And I do want to say that giving is a big part of receiving. That's what I want to leave as, giving. You always have to give, even a thought, a thank you, you're excellent, a smile. There's so many ways you could give, Yeah.
And it's great to have this exchange. I was just talking with Patrick, actually. He wanted to help me out with my event. He said, "Oh well, what can I do to help you out? What can I do for you?" And I guess he originally thought that maybe I needed someone to do a sound-based thing with me live. I say, something that I've really wanted to incorporate with the show, but I haven't had time to yet, is to incorporate visuals, video. And knowing him, he does video stuff. He's like, yeah, I can do that. Okay, well, why don't we do this? Why don't I'll make a video for you so you can play a backing video for your events, and in exchange,
you give me something. I said, that's great. Okay, because then I not only get to, you not only get to get something as well, but I get to give something to you.
Yeah.
So it's just, I get to experience both things at the same time. You get to be on both the giving and receiving, the opposite ends of each spectrum. And so as a gift, I gave him DJ duties. So that's why he was DJing last night, and so that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to play some music.
It's always great, one of the big things of Me Clown Industries that as we've been hearing throughout the years is the mutually beneficial, that reciprocation, that it's just great. I think I just foresee that this society is going to turn into a bartering system more than anything else, just so people kind of get around all kinds of other things where they're just going, okay, well, here's my talent. I would like, those apples over there, and so you're great at growing the apples, and do you need someone to, I don't know, do you need someone to build you something, or do you need someone to draw you a picture, or here's what I can offer you in exchange for that? And I think that it's kind of going to turn into more of that. At least that's the utopian thing that I envision.
Burning Man.
So like Burning Man, yeah.
Yeah, Burning Man is a whole. It's like a society already. Like they have their own rules, and like it's. I don't know. I've been looking into that. If you're into some trippy stuff, that's the place to go. But I think that society is not going the right way. It's more like the Venus Project. That's the way we need to go, where like you said earlier, give people duties. But I feel it won't resemble employment. It will be like who likes and shines in whatever they're doing.
It's like organic currency, which comes from its energy. And if we're able to mold and create our own and harness our own energy, then we can exchange with others who are also doing so. So I believe we're transforming the monetary system, because it's like a basic level of programming that we all had. And if you use your imagination and imagine things beyond that, then you connect with any talent.
I'm a bring Stuart Vael into the mix. Stuart Vael is a great man because he went through stuff. He deserted society and everything to be enlightened with the Tao. So he actually voluntarily left all his millions and millions of dollars to do that. So and I don't know, if someone is willing to do that and then come back and be a millionaire again, what does that tell you? The reason why I bring him up is because he says money is energy. So if you neglect money, if you say money's bad and all this, money has a conscience too. So money's not gonna be attracted to someone that says, hey, money, you're ugly, you're unimportant. Nah. Say, you know what? It's a tool. It's an exchange of energy. So guess what? I love money. You know why? Because I could circulate it around. I could buy things that I could probably help others. Because greed is a thought. It's not the money itself. If you have evil tendencies inside, a water bottle could be a weapon. So it's attitude. I come back around to saying it's attitude towards money, towards yourself, towards your success. I get it. People don't want to be all millionaires, but find your success within yourself that makes you happy, that makes you, when you wake up in the morning and you love yourself, you love everybody around you, you love even things that don't, the hardest part is to love things that you hate. That's the hardest part. And I think once you fix that, you'll start realizing that others will follow, because hey, we're dealing with osmosis here. We're dealing with auras. We're dealing with energy around you. Like if you tap into the source, you become like a walking Jesus Christ. People cannot help but to feel your vibration, to feel who you are, and then they will say, I want some of that. And then you just got to tell them the truth, how it is. You got to fix your inner demons, your inner sins. And just remember that you are the light that is always shining around you.
We all have millions existing within us. We just have to uncover them through I feel connecting with these aspects of us, and transforming them.
It's kind of fun thinking about that idea of like the parallel universes where they're just every single possibility already exists out there, and it's just up to us to kind of go, okay, let me just follow the signs that lead me down that path that leads me toward those highest versions of myself. And it's so cool because what I've noticed is that the more that I'm in tune with the following my calling, the more I'm coming across people like yourselves, who are doing the same thing, because the like attracts like. And you can tell when someone else is listening to the same radio station because you're there and you see this person mouthing these words and you're like, hey, I'm listening to it on my radio. Hey, we're listening to the same vibration. Cool. Now we can talk on this frequency now. And it's just so awesome how that is. It's so great. Like, these are the kinds of conversations that I dream of having like all day, every single day of my life.
Well, now it's here.
Right? Well, how cool is that? Imagine just having like everybody in your life where you're going, and it's not some strange thing where you ask them, oh, tell me about the manifestation of reality you just recently experienced, or tell me about your latest epiphany, or like there have been times where I've been on the street because this has transformed into a podcast, or there have been times where I've just asked someone on the street, I say, hey, what's your latest synchronicity? And they're like, well, interesting, you should say that. Well, of course interesting, I should say that. And of course you happen to have a story that you have to share with me. Because that thing went da-da-da-da, and it went da-da-da. Are you going to pay attention to this? You might not know what's going to happen here. There's a treasure trove of information behind this door. Are you going to knock on this door or not? Yeah, what the hell? Well, little do I realize there's some information hiding in there that I never would have had before if I didn't open that door. So thank you guys for coming on. Now, please just let people know, how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you, Formerly Alien?
Sure. You can find us on the web at formerlyalien.com and on Instagram at formerlyalien. And that's how you can find out about this record that's coming out pretty soon.
I would love to see at some point a gem that they create that has your signal, your insignia on it. Do you have on your phone or anything? Can you show them what that looks like, just so they can? Because I'm imagining, holy cow, it could be so magical.
Hey, you know what? Should I say it on this on air?
Oh, what were you gonna say?
So I'm doing things like that, man, where I want to create very, very intricate and very thoughtful and meaningful pendants for people based on their personality, their character. I'm studying personalities and through books and stuff, and just watching people, and I want to reach those people that are like just lost, they're very withheld within and
your
whatnot.
art is very inspirational. I mean, it's like it's a maze. If you just trace it with your eyes, ever since I was a little kid, I've always traced stuff with my eyes. Why are your eyes moving like that? I'm like, I'm drawing the picture that's on the wall right now. It's like you're tracing. So it's like I look at that gem and I'm like tracing it with my eye, and it's just so great. You get lost in it. It's so cool. Do you have that cool? That's their insignia. I could totally imagine.
We made this big like LED light up thing that goes behind us when we play our shows.
Nice.
And we learned, actually, it's another weird synchronicity. We had this up, and a friend of mine who just recently left his production job to go back and study physics because he wants to be a physicist, and he brought all his students to our show, and he's like, your logo is a physics problem, and the answer is 1.
Oh my god! Oh man!
My
god!
It's like
beautiful.
It's this thing. It's like when
shit! Are you kidding me?
when a satellite passes around a body in space, and then it enters the orbit and then it leaves.
Yes.
As opposed to orbiting. It was weird. Yeah. This just came out of wherever.
God,
so I don't know.
It just boomeranged around
Yeah.
the sphere.
Yeah, and I just thought it was like whatever, it's like the symbol, but then he explained to me that it has some other kind of
Luigi's words.
Yeah, you guys even made me understand what a Merkaba was, and it's a spaceship. It's a spaceship that we live through, and it's made by our feelings, our thoughts, and we're all traveling in a spaceship within ourselves, where the galaxy exists within ourselves, and we meet in this Earth, the middle section of all possibilities, and we get to share it with each other and exchange these creative things with each other.
A Merkaba in America.
That is brilliant. I love that. I love that this is just a big sandbox, a big playground. Merkaba in America. All right, well, having said that, I think we're going to bust out of here. Oh, Nicholas. We got Captain Nicholas, who's who's been moving things around here, our station manager. I just want him to have a couple of words, and then Brian's got something to say here. But I want to just introduce everybody to Nicholas. He's a huge important part of the show.
Hey guys.
Hey.
How's it going?
How long you been back there?
I like to chill in the cut. No, everyone has been so inspirational today, and Kurt, I never know what I'm going to walk into, and every time I'm like really happy, and I'm like, how do you find everyone that's just so...
Yeah, isn't it crazy?
Everyone's always on the right page. Always, and good people. Yeah.
And you and I were just talking how like the I used to try to pull it out of people. Now they're just volunteering that.
It's just falling out of the sky now.
It's just coming right out. I love it, man.
No, it's amazing.
And everyone is just like, they're already there, and they're already talking about it. It's just such a shorthand.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I'm speechless, but thank you guys.
Thank you for holding it all together, Nicholas. Yeah. And Brian, what would you like to share? And then we're going to have a few words from Meat Clown, and then we're going to close it up.
Oh yes, well, I am doing an event next Sunday, the 11th, at the Redwood Bar for Dark Rituals Monthly, presented by Records Ad Nauseam. It's a synth punk, industrial, death rock, and a pure electronic hell show every month. Pure electronic hell show. So that's at the Redwood on Sunday, 11/11. I also want to thank Billy's for having me play some hardcore techno and some hard house at Billy's Massive Saturday. This past Saturday at the Canby in Reseda. We had a really great show out there. They had a massive sound system. Highlight was the old man dancing to jungle music with a little puppy dog hanging out his t-shirt. And that was a great experience. And they also have a radio show on Dublab every month called Free Billy's Bail Bonds. Worth checking out. I think the next one's coming up Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that's it. Meat Clown had a couple things to say and sign out here before the end of the day.
This is my time to shine.
My time to shine.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Meat Clown Valley Network. It's been a real pleasure to have all you guys on here today. I'd just like to remind you again to visit www.meatclownbuttons.bigcartel.com, of course. And thank you to Roxanne and Sue and Tim. Tim was there, Zoe. I'd like to say thank you to all the Meat Clowns that were at that thing. And yeah, it was a really good time last night. Thank you for having us.
All the artwork from last night's show at Sunspace was really amazing.
Noel from Sunspace.
Noel, thank you again.
Thank you, yeah. Everybody, thank you so much. That's Meat Clown approved.
Thanks to Bloody Bobby.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna.
That guy was there too.
Bloody Bobby was there too, running around scaring the jeepers out of everybody.
That's right. Somehow people survived. All right, we'll see you on here next time.
You're listening to Inspirado Projecto on KCHUNG Radio.